And Free My Heart, and the Candyman came from last again. And what a brilliant run. Look at this. Free My Heart beat Fort Defiance, and then came Norfolk Crown. Beyond that for Lonican. Once again, Andrew Fortune to the fore.
The story you are about to see is the single story that has touched the producer's heart more than any other horse racing story in which he has ever been involved. This is the ongoing story of Andrew Fortune. It's a struggle against prohibitive odds, and the Keeping Track team have had the privilege of traveling with Andrew Fortune over the past 3 months to find out exactly which road he has decided to take. So is this the only road that Andrew Fortune could possibly have taken?
I had to go through those 10 years of darkness to enjoy the light. You know, today I love life. I really do. I wake up in the mornings and I live very close to my higher power. You know, because today I've got to believe something. Yeah, for me it's all about faith and believing today. You know, it's blind faith. You know, I said like I couldn't stop or put the addiction to rest, because addiction is so widely spread. You know, I could come in my eating disorder, it's everywhere. You know, I remember before I literally picked up drugs, the one day I went to the casino, I ended up staying 2 weeks. I just couldn't stop playing machines. I remember the one day I walked in and I'd done 50,000 in 20 minutes, and I laughed about it. You know, because somehow I would always manipulate somebody in some other way to get money again. So, and I was very good at that part, so I could feed my addiction for a long time, you know, until I literally got to my knees eventually. And today I'm grateful for it.
Do you believe that to a large extent it was the company you kept, or the fact that you had such low self-esteem that you had to go into a different environment of acceptance?
Andrew, today I believe you pick your friends. You choose who you want to be with. In my years of addiction, when I was in my darkest hour, those are the people I hung around with. Today I've got a choice of hanging around with them. Today I say no to that. You know, today I say no to going to parties, going to bars. You might say my life is boring. My life is fulfilled today. I'm happy with my life. You know, it's what makes Andrew happy. I'm starting to find out what makes me happy. And I say no to a lot of things today. And the great thing today is I can say no to Andrew. That Andrew can't do that. I'm okay to be with me today, you know. I'm stuck with me 24 hours a day. But you know what? That's okay. For a long time it wasn't.
It's a cavalry charge now as they come to the 300. Drum Star is moving in well. L Pitcher down the inside, Classic Flag, and on the outside, Star Defense. Drum Star, L Pitcher, Classic Flag. L Pitcher and Drum Star, Classic Flag along the inside. Drum Star in front, and a red letter day for Gary Alexander. Drum Star won it by half from L Pitcher, Classic Flag, and Elegant L.
First of all, I want to tell you that your Joburg jockeys aren't that wonderful. I am telling you. What's your top jockey? What's his name? Superman or something? Oh, please, man. I tell you what, he to my eyes, is very overrated. Because he looked very tame next to me.
There were times when your interviews used to be upbeat. Sometimes they were down. They were short. They were sarcastic. Sometimes you didn't come back for interviews. Your body must have been in a state of flux.
Like I said, I was a sad person then, you know. For me today, it's a hole in the soul. You're trying to put something in your body to fulfill that emptiness that's there for so long, and you think something can fill it. You know, today I'm content today. I'm content with Andrew Fortune today. You know, funny enough, I'm actually starting to get proud of Andrew Fortune today, and that's wonderful, you know.
There's some very special people around you that have adopted you because they see this enormous ability that you have, and I think they're petrified of losing. But more important, that they actually like you as a person. Does that drive you on, or is it Andrew Fortune that drives you on?
Since I've had the spiritual awakening, let me call it that because that's what I call it. My darkest hour was that's where I had my spiritual awakening. You know, at the same time, my worst day was my best day as well, because that's when I started turning and making today I believe I'm making my journey home, you know. And I've met some wonderful people. God, or my higher power, has put these people in my life, and I've got wiser. I've learned so much more. I'm more open-minded about it. I look at things differently today, you know. And today everything is, you know, there's so many blessings in my life. You know, for a long time, I hated life. I didn't enjoy life because living life in such deep addiction, where I was consumed, and at the end, my drug used me. I was using against my own self-will. I didn't want to use drugs anymore. I wanted to stop, but never had I wouldn't say the desire was there, but I didn't know where to turn. I felt lost for so long, and I had these people in my life, not blaming them for it, but that's all I knew. That's all I became accustomed to, until I broke down and said no more. You know, I needed help. Yeah, I needed help, and that's how where my spirituality, my higher power came in and granted it to me.
Your brother found you in Worcester, and you were telling me that for more than 6 months you lived basically in a pair of trousers with no shirt on in the middle of winter. I mean, that's death-defying to a large extent, without making you feel superhuman.
Well, I think I went into rehab weighing 48. Today I'm battling to keep my weight under 58. You know, it's and that's the condition I was in. Yeah, you know, I think in my bag was 2 pairs of pants and a toothbrush, and that's all I owned at the time. You know, and.
Do you think that there's going to come a time where you're going to be able to go and minister to those people, as you ministered to the people of Wentworth at schools, of people you didn't know, creating this analogy between your Elsie's River upbringing and where you ended up in Worcester?
You know, I'm a great believer your body tells you when the time is right. At the moment, in the near future, it's not in my plans, but hopefully one day I can go and share what I shared this morning to the people in Worcester, because I find they're in the same position what the people in Wentworth is in. You know, they very, very poor community. I loved Worcester because people didn't judge me there. I didn't have to be this Andrew Fortune that the racing world put on Andrew Fortune, this pressure that I suppose to this degree was self-inflicted, but I could just be Andrew. Nobody judged me. Nobody, and I could do whatever I like. I didn't have to wear a top, you know. I could be high every day without somebody pointing a finger at me. And that's what I enjoyed about Worcester, you know. But the community is very disadvantaged. It's a very poor community. And I would love to go there and carry the message, because I might be able to help one person.
Now, when your brother came to rescue you, he must have been absolutely beside himself. And how did he approach the whole thing?
Well, Andrew, you know, the other day, it's the first time I heard the whole story from my brother's side. I couldn't tell you what they went through. I knew what pain I was in, and I can't imagine what pain they were in, because they could see it and I couldn't. The denial system becomes so strong that you still believe you're doing the right thing. I had to choose between life or death. Then I said, I want to live. But I'm going to have to need help here. Somebody's going to have to help me here, you know. But I really want to live. And although I said the words want to live, I still didn't believe at that time that I could make it. Because I've given up on myself by then already, you know, that I tried so many times. But today I really believe I had to become humble and say, I need help. I had to ask for a power from somewhere. That's why I believe so strongly today, that some miracle had to happen for me. And it did. And I asked for it. And it did happen for me. You know, for a long time I fought it. I can't go to a bar. I can't have a beer. Today I've accepted that it's part of life. that I got to carry the message. I got to say to people, you know, I always thought I was this high-class addict, that I used cocaine and I was better than the next person, and I'm not. I'm just somebody that got addicted to drugs, and it will take me exactly where it will take the man in the street. I'm human, and I'm not better than anybody else. And that was the biggest lesson, that I had to become humble and accept that I'm a normal human being. I make mistakes, and it can happen to anybody. And there's, like I said to you, the antidote for me today is spirituality. It's an answer for me. And I always say to people, find out what works for you. Today I found a balance in my life. I haven't got it 100% right yet. I probably will never get it 100% right, because I've got to accept that I'm never going to be perfect, and I'm still going to make a lot of mistakes. It's trying to untie those knots that you've made for all the years that you use, those to face your own demons, those character defects, those demons that you fed, those demons that was my life skills. I had to put those down. I had to change my attitude.
The gift of the gap?
I had to wake up in the mornings and say, I had to put on a good attitude. I look at the old Andrew and I feel sorry for him. And I actually get sad when I look at the old Andrew. You know, I believed I was chosen one. I have to say many. And in the meantime, I was a sad person. I didn't even understand myself, you know. I'm very far from perfect today. But today is, I know if there's trouble, I've got to look at myself first. I've got to do a daily inventory 4 or 5 times on myself today. Because the easiest thing for me is to get arrogant, to think I'm better than the next person. And I live close to people that's been doing it for years. And today I've got to be open-minded to take advice from them.
Is that part of your fellowship?
Yes, yeah, Andrew. And I'm grateful for the fellowship today. I really, without those friends I can phone at 2 o'clock in the morning when I think I'm in trouble, and there's a few of them that I trust today with my life. I never chose to be a jockey. My family sent me at 14. I love it though, and I'm good at it, and I'm grateful for it. But you know, one day I want to retire on a farm with animals all around me. That feeds my soul. You know, I love nature. That's for me. I'm at peace with nature. I could spend days. I see it in my kids. I see how they with the animals, and I love that, you know, and that I can see in them what I've got, you know, and that's beautiful.
The reality is that you've been given many chances in the horse racing industry, and there's a lot of skeptics out there, desperately jealous perhaps, desperately wanting to see you fail, others hoping that you will succeed. But I think the most important thing that you've imparted to me is that you've given up your frequent flyer pass on arrogant airways.
Andrew, you know, I think I rewrite the books of chances. I mean, that a person could get so many chances. So many chances. I think I got called positive 4 times. You know? I had 4 positives. And they gave me another chance. And then I had another positive. And they gave me another chance. That I had the job with, I think, 2 or 3 of the top 10 trainers in the country. And I got called positive again. But that was all part of the journey, you know. I had to go through that. It's just what I've done in life, what I've done this morning, that gives me great pleasure to live with Andrew Fortune. That I'm doing something and not wanting anything in return from anybody. You know, I don't have to manipulate somebody for money. I don't have to, because there was always some ulterior motive for in my story. I could never give somebody a social call just to see how the person.
How's it? How are you? Nice little ball bet, yeah.
Yeah, I could never do that.
You were setting them up
for something. There was always
for a punt or
absolute, always an ulterior motive. You know, today I make my bed when I wake up in the morning. You know, I found if my room is messy, then I'm messy up here. You know, I make my bed when I wake up first time in the morning. After I pray, I make my bed first. I've got to get into a routine, a different routine for Andrew Fortune.
God has given you this extraordinary talent. And in order for people to know that Andrew Fortune is not just the gifted rider that we know he is, what is your goal with the racing industry and horse racing as a sport?
Now I'm saying this in, I'm hoping that this is in my higher powers plans as well, because I don't want to sound arrogant. I really don't. And I don't mean to say this arrogantly at all. But wouldn't it be a nice story if I become South Africa's champion jockey? I mean, that is, you know, 3 years ago, I was probably one of my darkest hours of using. I was just about to get there. And my mother was sitting at the bed and she looked tired. And I said to her, you can go now. You know, you've brought up 8 children and you've done a great job. We're all grown up. She said, but I can't leave. I said, but why? She said, because you're not okay yet. And I thought, jeepers. Today she's 79 or 80 years old. And I thought that would be a nice ending. You know, to let her go, knowing that I'm okay. You know, and you know, it will be a lot of water for my soul. You know what I mean? I said to her the other day, 1 more year. Give me 1 more year and I will make you so proud of me. And it was not just her, me as well. You know, that everything I've been through. Look, I'm just hoping it's in God's plans and not just in mine, because for me that will be the cherry on top.